The Houston Texans need some help at wide receiver. I know they traded for Christian Kirk, but a draft pick or two at the wide receiver position would serve the Houston Texans well in the upcoming 2025 NFL draft. And if this player gets to 25, the Texans might need to consider it. Let's talk about wide receiver from Arizona, Tetairoa McMillan. And he is one of the best wide receiver prospects in this upcoming class. We'll talk about why you might want him, why you maybe wouldn't want Tetairoa McMillan, T-Mac, as they call him. Don't call him Tet McMillan. He doesn't like that. But why would you want T-Mac on your team? What's the range for a T-Mac according to the draft prognosticators? And ultimately, should the Texans make that pick if he's there at 25? Let's get into it. Who exactly is the standout, super productive wide receiver from Arizona, Tetairoa McMillan. He's one of the highest rated prospects to ever go to Arizona. It was a part of the attempted culture change at Arizona with these past draft classes. That was something that a lot of those Arizona players have talked about. They wanted to change how people thought about Arizona football, and Tetairoa McMillan was one of the guys that was changing the way you think about how the Wildcats play a football. This upcoming season, he'll be 22 years old, and he's one of the most productive wide receivers in this draft class. In 3 seasons at Arizona, he has way more yards than Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State had in 4 seasons at the Ohio State University. You can see it right there, how productive McMillan was. That is one of the big things for him, is it didn't matter the level of competition. The Arizona Wildcats could get the ball to T-Mac, and the other team knew the ball was going to T-Mac, and they still got the ball to Tetairoa McMillan. He can go up there and win on contested catches at a pretty good rate. He's good at it, not great at it, which is something to kind of keep in mind. A lot of times you like big body receivers to be great at that. He's just good at it, but not to say that it's a negative or a bad aspect of his game. And with the production, well, comes a lot of experience with the ball in his hands. He was able to make some tacklers miss once he got the ball in his hands, and he knows what it takes to be a number one option on a football team, because that's what he was for the Arizona Wildcats. A super productive career in college, and likely a guy that can make it work at the next level, not as the number one option initially, because his first year at Arizona, though they weren't as explosive and he wasn't as prolific as he was his second and third season at Arizona, he was one of the best in the nation at yards per reception, making the most of his receptions. So when you look at a situation like the Houston Texans, if you added a guy like McMillan, he fits in as hopefully a guy that makes the most of his opportunities when he does get open. You're going to try to get the ball to Nico Collins. Christian Kirk, if healthy, should be a productive player. So McMillan as a top option, as a stud guy, he's not going to see that volume initially if he's on the Houston Texans, but can he make the most of the opportunities that he does have? The production in college says indeed yes. What's not to like about Tetairoa McMillan's game at the next level? Well, he's a little slow off the line of scrimmage. He's got enough speed to take care of business once he gets going, but a lot of the draft prognosticators are worried about him with his line of scrimmage get off, as well as if he gets pressed by big physical cornerbacks, how well he wins, or really how well he has to try to win at the next level. That's certainly a concern about McMillan's game. And then he was the number one guy, but he was the number one guy in a little bit of a smaller route tree. There's a little bit more polish to some of the other players and wide receivers in this class, a little bit more do-it-all nature, some inside-outside versatility. Now, McMillan does have some inside-outside versatility. He had, a few inside slot reps and was pretty successful at it at the college level, but some of the issues and some of the concerns about his start to his routes and some of the physicality of the NFL might be something to worry you a little bit about McMillan. Plus, I know I mentioned that yards per reception were high when he wasn't a big-time player, when he wasn't this constantly explosive player. How will he initially handle in a Texans situation, maybe being the third receiving option? That's something to think about, making the most of his opportunities as he deals with some of the challenges of making it to the NFL. And then one of the big things for me was this clip that I came across, and it's just, I didn't love the conversation and what McMillan had to say about playing football and just what he likes to do associated with the demands of playing football.
I don't watch football.
You know what? You don't watch football? At all?
At all.
Is it hard to watch film then if you don't like watching football?
Yeah.
For real? That's crazy.
I don't like watching film either. I don't ever need to watch it by myself because we go over as a receiver group.
Now, it's worth noting, not everybody loves to watch football. Not everybody's a super film guy. But when you do have holes to your game, like McMillan, when you do need to know how opponents are going to approach you, when it feels like there is a way to slow down what you do well, you'd like a little bit more of a football junkie aspect to the game. And so that worried me a little bit about a McMillan, and it kind of soured me on him as a prospect. Now, that's not going to be a big deal for some teams, but when I think about what the Houston Texans want, and when I hear D'Amico Ryans say that these interviews that they have with these players, and he mentions it at the combine, but really when they sat down, they want to find out what's the why. It's kind of hard to figure out what the why is for a Tetairoa McMillan. What's the why? Why do you play football? Well, I'm good at it. That's why I play football. Oh, okay. So if you were a really good, say, skateboarder, would you skateboard instead of football? If you were a really good scientist, would you be a scientist instead of a football player? Again, not a big deal for everybody, but it did kind of sour me a little bit on a guy like T-Mac. What's the range? Is this player even going to be available for the Houston Texans? Well, as the top true wide receiver. I say true wide receiver because it seems like Travis Hunter is going to play a little bit of offense and defense, the do-it-all prospect out of Colorado. As the top true wide receiver in some people's eyes, McMillan could be going as high as somewhere in the top 10. But as concerns about his game pile up, some other players have impressive draft processes, and maybe teams like guys like Matthew Golden or Luther Burden or Emeka Egbuka a little bit better at the wide receiver position. McMillan's low-end range is right around where the Houston Texans pick, which is 25th overall in the first round. So a wide range, and maybe one of the wider ranges for a player that's near the top of his position in positional ranking. So anywhere from a top 10 player to a mid-20s player is the range for McMillan. Now, ultimately, here's the verdict on Tetairoa McMillan. Should the Texans turn in the card with his name on it if he's there at 25? I'm out on it. No thank you on Tetairoa McMillan. And if you've paid attention to this channel throughout the draft process, I was really in on the hope or the idea that McMillan would slide and be an option for the Houston Texans. But some of the challenges in his game, the replication a little bit of what Nico Collins already does from a style standpoint, and that comment from that video has just soured me a little bit on the fit for the Texans. I'd rather have a little bit more of a cleaner fit, a football junkie type of guy, someone like Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, or an offensive lineman at 25 instead of a guy like Tetairoa McMillan. Now, maybe I'm overrating some of that football junkie stuff. That may just be a blind spot in the way that I think about draft prospects, but it does seem like something that the Texans might be a little annoyed by if they really dug into McMillan. And heck, with the range that he's got from a top 10 potentially to mid-20s, they may not even have the opportunity to turn it in. But I'd say if he's there, go a different direction. What say you? Would you still draft Tetairoa McMillan? Could you see him opposite Nico Collins combining for one of the more physically impressive 1-2 wide receiver duos in football? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, of course, don't forget to check out myself and Landry Locker on the SNL duo show that we do. Landry Locker from the Locker Room and I get together each and every weekday at 4 p.m. for a live show talking about the Texans. And we'll have live draft broadcasts for you as well as a draft party on the Saturday of the draft. Location to be determined, but be on the lookout for that. So, T-Mac in the books, plenty more prospects to talk about. Mock drafts coming your way as well. So you don't want to miss out on anything. So subscribe to the channel. Turn on a little notification so you know when the video is popping up or when the video is going live for you to join in live. We love the live streams and we love the live mock drafts. Probably be headed your way this weekend if you're watching this on Friday evening. So appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want the food review, stick around. If not, can't wait till we talk Texans again soon. All right, a little food review Friday for you. I was walking through the grocery store and I saw a new flavor of Bluebell ice cream, and I was like, oh, I haven't tried that one yet. I know somebody requested it, so let's get that one. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, there's another new flavor that I haven't tried. We've tried ice cream before here on the channel. It's a pretty high bar to have an excellent ice cream, even though the folks at Bluebell do an excellent job. Strawberry toaster pastry is one of them. Bluebell describes it as a creamy vanilla ice cream loaded with strawberry pastry pieces, colorful confetti sprinkles, and swirls of strawberry sauce and white icing. You can see one of those swirls right there in the top. The other flavor that we're going to try, also a new one from the fine folks at Bluebell, simply called Banana Fudge. And Bluebell describes it as their milk chocolate ice cream swirled with a banana flavored ice cream. Your favorite banana fudge bar now in a carton. High, bold claim from the folks there at Bluebell. That's what the ice cream looks like. And here's a little tip, little trick for you. Unless you're eating the whole pint, which you might, unless you're eating the whole pint, when you take the lid off, leave the lid in the freezer. One, you'll always know where the lid is. Two, you don't get that frozen part of the ice cream on the lid melting on the top and creating a mess when you put your lid back on. So 2 different spoons for you. Got some water to clear the palate in between. Let's start with the banana fudge because I believe the strawberry toaster pastry, aka Pop-Tart, okay, is going to be better. So let's start with the banana fudge. Get a nice big old scoop here and see what we got. Okay, the milk chocolate flavor is the predominant flavor at the beginning, and then you get a little bit of the banana. It is not a super prevalent flavor at the beginning. That chocolate is quite powerful at the beginning. That one, the banana got there a little bit more. It's going to be based on how much banana ice cream you get in there. So if you get a piece here, it's got a little bit more banana than chocolate. I'm wondering if the banana is going to hit you a little bit faster. Yeah, so obviously it's a swirled ice cream. So if you pick you out a little piece, it's just chocolate. You're only going to get the chocolate. That banana flavor is good. It's not exactly like the Bomb Pop, the banana chocolate fudge Bomb Pop. It's not exactly like that, but it is pretty darn close to what that flavor is. Obviously, it's tough to mimic the texture because that's an ice cream bar, whereas this is just an ice cream. So tough to exactly capture the texture. That is a good ice cream, though. It's not a bad flavor, and certainly if you're looking for that nostalgic flavor, you're going to enjoy it. We'll score it at the end. Let's get to the strawberry toaster pastry. Let me cleanse the palate here a little bit. All right, so a lot going on here. Vanilla ice cream. We know what vanilla ice cream tastes like from the folks at Bluebell. Strawberry pastry pieces confetti sprinkles and swirls of strawberry sauce and white icing. All right, let's dig in here. I'm going to get in right into this little section here that has that strawberry swirl and see what we come up with. You can't quite see the white icing, but it is in there. It is a slightly different color than the vanilla ice cream. Let's get it in here. Okay. It doesn't taste like a Pop-Tart. It tastes like a vanilla ice cream with strawberry swirl in it. And that strawberry flavor, it feels very much just like strawberry sauce that you get on like a hot fudge sundae. Got a little strawberry pastry piece in there. It adds enough texture to the equation. And okay, like you can see it. That's clearly a strawberry toaster piece. They're not as prevalent throughout the ice cream, but it does add a little texture element to it. You kind of get the confetti sprinkles. It's okay. It's okay. It's far from my favorite. If you like strawberry Pop-Tarts or toaster pastry, as they call it here, why not get an official membership or official partnership with Pop-Tarts? Get an official membership. You'd sell more if it was strawberry Pop-Tart Bluebell ice cream, but I guess you'd have to pay them a little bit. Let's go ahead and give this one a grade. The strawberry toaster pastry Bluebell ice cream. That one's going to check in at a 6.8. It's very fine. Like, it's not a really good flavor or really good, unique, like loaded up Bluebell ice cream. Like, they got some that have like all sorts of stuff in there, like big chunks of brownie or cookie or something like that. It's just okay. I'm not a huge strawberry fan. The strawberry flavor feels very much artificial strawberry versus like a nice fresh strawberry that you get in like a dessert in a restaurant. So 6.8 on that one. And now the Bluebell ice cream banana fudge. I mean, look, if that's the flavor you're looking for, you know what you're getting when you're getting the banana fudge. Is it a go-to? Like, could you put it in the Bluebell rotation? Probably not. But if that's the flavor you're going for, you're going to like it. We'll go with a 7.7 on that. Neither of these crack the top end of ice creams that you would try, but you see that you haven't been able to find the bomb pops in a long time. The ice cream man doesn't make it to your neighborhood, and you want the nostalgia, you're going to get it with that Bluebell banana fudge ice cream. So a 6.8, a 7.7, not the most amazing scores in the world, but two solid ice creams. And look, if you like that strawberry, that sugary strawberry syrupy flavor, you'll like this more than I like it. And then this is the nostalgia ice cream for you. So appreciate you hanging around for the food reviews. Enjoy doing these throughout the course of the off season for you, and can't wait for many more. We've got a beverage on the horizon in the coming weeks and some various other things. Plus, look out for the community page because you might be voting on what the next food review is as well. So don't miss out on your opportunity with that. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait till we food review again soon.